What's up, everybody? Hey, Tom Laird here, host of the Advice from a Call Center Geek podcast and founder of Expedia. For exceptional contact center outsourcing, trust Expedia. We're fully AI-driven, as all of you know, and can handle voice, email, chat, and all of your digital channels. Our 600-seat USA contact center is expert in healthcare, financial services, insurance, tech support, retail, and more. Experts on the NICE CX1 platform, we ensure seamless customer experiences. DM me or visit expediausa.com for more.
This is Advice from a Call Center Geek, a weekly podcast with a focus on all things call center. We'll cover it all from call center operations, hiring, culture, technology, and education. We're here to give you actionable items to improve the quality of yours and your customers' experience. This is an evolving industry with creative minds and ambitious people like this guy. Not only is his passion call center operations, but he's our host. He's the CEO of Expedia Interaction Marketing Group and the Call Center Geek himself, Tom Laird.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Advice from a Call Center Geek, the call center contact center podcast. We try to give you some actionable items to help your contact center improve the overall quality, improve your agent experience, hopefully improve the customer experience as well. My name is Tom Laird. I am the CEO of Expedia Interaction Marketing. We are a call center outsourcer located here in snowy, cold Erie, Pennsylvania, but I guess that's what you get when it's January 19th here. So how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's kind of getting back into the swing of things here. I have an interesting dilemma that we've had to solve, and I know it's been a question on a lot of your minds. A lot of you in the community, I've been getting this, and just a plug for the community. If any of you are interested in joining our SMS texting community, just 814-247-0366 and just text call center, and that'll get you signed up for the community where we can have some really cool discussions, and you guys kind of have access to me, and if you have any help or ever need any help for any of your call center stuff. But a lot of you are thinking about the process of how do I go back into the office? How's our call center, come back into a brick and mortar facility? What are some of the things that we need to think about? So I wanted to talk about that today. And let me give you some background on why. I don't want to say I'm an expert on it, but why I at least think I have the right to speak on it a little bit. So over the last 5 months, we've been going through an RFP process with a very large client. Large for us is about 200 to 250 seats to start, and kind of can get bigger from there. And they're a large financial services client. So security obviously is of the utmost importance, and they need to have all of their work done unless, we have a total lockdown shutdown in a brick and mortar facility. So part of this RFP process is they want to know how we could accomplish that and how we could get this back, from a work from home into a brick and mortar facility and then outsource it so that they felt, comfortable with the security and all those aspects that a financial services client really needs. So, we have been thinking about this for the last couple months. I know I have talked, on the podcast, and to say, right now we're pretty much 95% work from home, but I don't think that that's going to totally stay like that. I think we'll always be a hybrid contact center. So all of my financial services clients, I'm going to bring back on site when we can. I don't think we're ready yet. And not saying we meaning Expedia, just we meaning as a society, I guess, to bring them back to where the COVID numbers are. And once we get, I think, hopefully this vaccine kicking, we'll start to see more people come back. But I do have some, I don't want to say basic customer service programs, but customer service programs that don't deal with credit card information, are not sales oriented, no social security, no proprietary data, that I think I will keep at home and keep that hybrid model so that we're always kind of, we can go either way, right? If something else happens and there's a catastrophe, we can be at home. But this is a different animal, right? So we had to figure out how we can get safely. Now, this is a 250 seat opportunity. Obviously, you're not going to have 250 reps there all the time because it's 24/7. So, there'll be a peak, of about 175-ish reps. So we had to figure out how to do this safely. The one thing that we did go out and get and we have set up is we have a 30,000 foot brand new contact center, totally built out. And we built it out with 250 seats, thinking even though we'll only need, quote unquote, need 175, that we will be able to, socially distance and do some things properly, with the extra capacity. The landlord, worked with us as well to allow for us to kind of, help him out too, because there's not a lot of people right now that are going out and investing and leasing 30,000 square feet of a facility, right? Everything's been at home. So it was a pretty good relationship and I think a pretty good deal for both of us. So what I want to go through is some of the policies, procedures that we have put in place and are putting in place to bring people back safely and how this all works. So hopefully this gets you thinking, at least, and it will help you with the process of building out your own policies and procedures for bringing people back home. Okay, so let's get into this. So the first thing that we've done is we thought, we needed to have a safety coordinator, at least one person who's in charge per shift of everything, right? We can't just depend on supervisors to do it. We can't depend on a call center manager to do it. We have to have somebody who's there and whose only job is to kind of be that, that maybe pain in the rear for some people, but the person who's in charge of all of these policies, procedures for safety of the employees. So that's the first thing, is we have at least one safety coordinator on site for each shift, for second and third shift, because it's 24/7. The next couple things that I'm going to talk about, you guys all get, so I'm going to kind of blow through these. Obviously, we're going to require masks, right? So we are handing out disposable masks at the office, right, that people can use. We also have Expedia kind of branded masks as well. One of the things that I think is interesting and something that we had to think through, and something that maybe you want to think through, is the traffic flow of your employees. So, in a 30,000 square foot, luckily it's a 1-story building. There's about 6 entrances into it and exits, right, all throughout. So we're not going to have 175 people, or, if it's a shift of 70 people, come in all through the front door. So everyone is assigned a door, and that door is where they enter and exit the building. And it's the closest kind of point where their workstation is, where their supervisors are. So we color coded them, right? Like a red, a blue, purple, orange, and those are the kind of the doors. We could have done numbers. We had that argument, but anyway, just so we've identified the different doors for different traffic patterns. So then when a rep comes in, right, they enter in for their shift. They're given we have thermal cameras, right, that are set up at each of the doors, right? So they'll go in, they'll make sure that their temperature is proper. We then have them wash their hands. There's different areas of the building. There's 5 or 6 different bathrooms that they can go into. I don't know if that's overkill or not, but at least for right now, that's going to be what we're going to do. We're going to wash hands, come into your station. There's hand sanitizer. There is, Clorox wipes. So you'll wipe down your area. You'll wipe down your area at the beginning of the shift and at the end of the shift as well. And I'll talk to you kind of how we track that and how we make sure that that's happening as well. So every employee is going to have their own station, right? So normally in the kind of the old way we used to do things is if we had 3 shifts, you may have 3 reps in the same booth, right? Or the same work area for all 3 of those. But we're going away from that. And again, that's why we have 250 seats for 170 reps. 1, we can be distanced, and 2, there's enough area that everybody has their own area, and not another person is going to be sitting in that area for the day. When the rep goes to their computer and they feel comfortable that their safety check's been done, their temperature's been taken, they've wiped down their area, their hands are washed, right? It's a process, right? It's a process, but I think this is probably the most extreme piece of it. Again, like I said, the hand washing we may kind of just forego with hand sanitizer. But before they log in, we have a form that pops up on their computer, right? And it just asks them 3 questions, right? So they'll put their name on the form. They'll type their name in, and then the questions are: have you been in close contact or cared for someone diagnosed with COVID-19 within the last 14 days? Question 2 is we ask them if they've traveled in the last 14 days. And question 3 is, have you experienced any cold or flu-like symptoms in the last 14 days to include fever, cough, sore throat, respiratory illness, difficulty breathing, yes or no? Obviously, they have to answer no to all 3 of those questions. If they do, then they're allowed to log in, start their shift. If they say yes to one of those, then they can't log in, right? They have to go see the safety coordinator, and then we kind of will work through that. We also have a policy here that if you feel sick, you stay home, right? We are working with the client to have a small percentage of people every day be able to work from home. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do that or not, but we're going to have to overstaff and think that through, because that's kind of the world that we live in as a call center now. We might not be as efficient, but I think the safety of the employees trumps the efficiency of an occupancy number at this point, right? So making sure that, again, service the client, make sure that the reps can have a safe place to be at, and obviously they can afford, make an income as well. So we got to make sure that we're kind of balancing all those 3, with the priority being to being safe and having it safe for the reps. The safety coordinator will also be in charge of a disinfectant schedule, right? So every area of the building, we will make sure that is disinfected throughout the day. If we have areas that are, they have more people, right, that could congregate or at least use that area, they're disinfected more, right, a couple times throughout the day. We have specific products that we're using in each area to disinfect those areas. We have gotten really crazy. We are pretty liberal with break, right? So like if you wanted to take a break, and you had break time and everything, you're following all procedures, we just let you go. Now we're really trying to schedule breaks, unless you had a horrible call or something crazy happens where, you need a minute. That's not a problem. But unfortunately, it's against kind of my culture and kind of our culture, but the times are we have to schedule breaks to have the most limited amount of people leaving and being around each other at the same time. We've also gotten to the point where we're getting pretty good with knowing who's a smoker and who's not, right? Just kind of understanding that the smokers will probably go outside a little bit more, and some of the non-smokers will go into the break areas a little more. And we don't keep any record of that. I mean, obviously we couldn't for privacy issues, but you just kind of have a feeling and you kind of know. So we've been able to kind of think that through a little bit and maybe get a little bit more, nuanced to just saying, go on break, but understanding kind of where people are going to go as well. We try to just have people scheduled and have the traffic flow, right? Go right to a break room, right to a break area. Those types of things are important. They can't hang out and, go talk to somebody who's, their friend in another part of the call center. Like it's hard, right? It's difficult. And like for me it's totally against the culture of kind of what I believe in a call center and kind of the fun aspect and the employee engagement aspect of it. But again, we got to make money, and we have to keep people, more importantly, we have to keep people safe, right? And those people have to make money too. So we want to make sure that, we're doing everything we can to keep this program going extremely well so that our employees can get paid, they can be safe, clients happy. So those are kind of those priorities. And I know I've said it a couple times, but they just resonate with me anytime I feel like, man, are we being too strict with this? But understand it's kind of for the benefit of everybody. And hopefully it's just a short-term thing and we can kind of get back to some of the things that we'd like to do in the past. The last piece of this, and I kind of saved it to the end because I think it's really important, and wanted to kind of give it, I guess, its own little slot here, is social distancing, right? So this is something that we've had to really think through, right? So even by putting, dots on the floor, right, of where people can walk and how much space that they should give, we are only operating every other call center station, right? And our stations are pretty big here. They're almost 6 foot themselves. So, we did the math or we measured it out, and they technically would be okay, but we're kind of trying to be uber safe. So we're going every other call center station. The most important thing is your break area, right? Because sometimes the reps just, I'm not saying they don't care, but they see somebody, they want to start talking to them. So really just, marking out, or either we're still debating whether we just leave like our desks that are in there and in chairs that are in there, and just kind of, put a green dot, or if we just take them out and space them out. For TVs, we've taken couches out, which is kind of awful, right? So again, trying to do the best we possibly can to keep everybody safe, but still not make it seem like it's a, I don't know, just a real sterile, awful place, right? We still want to have a little bit of camaraderie, but understand that we have to do it under different terms and different policies and procedures. So that's kind of, I guess, the 30,000 foot view of what we're going to be doing and how we're going to be operating in kind of the new norm of bringing everybody back. We do have a QA area that will actually be at a different facility. So we have a couple buildings here in town. So we wanted to keep as much space as we can for the reps. So our QA is going to be done in kind of in our main headquarters. That's kind of where my office is here, or at least it is for now. So that way we can really space those guys out as well. And I think I kind of almost like it not having them, there. So there's a better communication culture between the QA and the supervisors that happen. So the supervisors have to go talk to the reps and do more coaching when it comes to QA. And so QA's kind of went back to that real analytical, drill down of calls, and the supervisors are really taking that role of the coach. The other thing that we're doing though too, and I forgot to talk about this, it's not on my list, but just popped into my head, is we're still using Slack a lot, right? So supervisors before could just walk around and kind of high five reps and could talk to reps. Well, they can't do that right now, right? So we are keeping our supervisors still at kind of arm's length. They'll still be around their team, but they're not going to be within 6 feet of their team, which makes coaching and those types of things a little bit more difficult. So we're making sure that we're doing more things off the floor when it comes to coaching, spacing those things out. But any type of real quick interactions, we're still doing with Slack, right? Anything like a quick coach or something that maybe you don't want to shout out to the floor, making sure that we're still using Slack to its full extent, almost like they're still work from home. So again, we'll see how that goes, but I think that that's the safest way to do it, with still getting the most amount of communication into the floor and into the reps as well. So let me just check my list here. If there's anything else that I missed, no, I think that's pretty much it. Other than, even though the rep is in charge of sanitizing their work area at the beginning of the day, they also do it at the end. So they'll wipe down their keyboard, their mouse, their computer, wipe all that down, and then head off for the day, out the same door that they came in, not the front door. So it's it's a little interesting, but I think it's going to work pretty well. We've thought it out to at least as much as we possibly can. We've not implemented yet. We're not starting this program for about another month, right? So this is all kind of our preliminary plan. If any of you guys would like this to see it, we have it kind of written out as a policy and procedure. I'd be more than happy to share it. We also have the forms that we're going to be using. I can just send those to you in a Google Doc as well. So again, thank you guys for listening. If it's possible in any way, if you could please, give us a shout out on social media. I'd love to continue to grow this. Please post a review on iTunes, right? Especially iTunes. If you can, type out anything that you like, don't like, I really would appreciate it. And then please check out our communities, right? We have a Advice from a Call Center Geek Facebook page and Advice from a Call Center Geek Facebook community, where we have a lot of like minds. And if you have any issues or questions on call center stuff, you're more than happy to kind of hear from your peers, and hopefully there's a pretty good give and take there. So again, thank you guys very much. I look forward to speaking to you next week, and I'd love to hear some follow up or your thoughts on some of what we're doing here to bring our agents back into the office.